Hi, this is Craig and Janice, and welcome to another episode of Cruising Off Duty. In this episode, we're in Waupoos, which is wine country. There are vineyards everywhere, but we're not big fans of wine, but we don't mind the odd cider. So we take in some cider tastings. And then we have a nice leisurely lunch out on their back patio. All this is going on while our boat is being dragged away by a windstorm, unknown to us. Some good Samaritans went out in a Zodiac and retrieved it for us. After almost losing our boat, we decide that maybe we need to get a gas-powered motor for our dinghy after all, and we really got to start considering a different anchor. All that coming up on this episode of Cruising Off Duty.
We're on our way to Waupoos to ride around on the bikes. It's extremely windy, but we've been anchored for a couple hours now and haven't moved, so we think we're good. So we're off to do our thing that we plan to do, and hopefully it stays nice-ish. Yeah.
So, first time we have both folding bikes set up. Janice is ready to do her peach one, I got my blue one, and we got our backpacks, and we're gonna go bike through wine country. Yay! Okay, here we are, biking along in wine country. Pan over my right shoulder here. There's some vineyards. And they're selling lemonade. Hello. Maybe on the way back. Thanks. And Waupoos. Oh, there's the mustard place they were talking about. Did you want to go there?
Right now?
On the way back?
On the way back.
Okay. So there's a mustard place back there. And then over here is a little grocery store. So jams, jellies, coffee, salad, honey, maple syrup. So that's the market that we would want to go to. We probably need to stop there, eh?
Yeah.
And there's the winery, the big one.
Yeah.
That's the big winery right there. The one that's kind of more renowned and all of its vineyards. So anyways, fun. We've gone quite a distance already, and I don't think walking would have been.
It's 3 kilometers from where we started to the cider place. So far we've gone so far.
Okay, cool. Okay, we've made it to our goal, which is the County Cider Company. And it seems to be this house up on the hill. So we're gonna go check it out. Fun stuff.
I know, right?
How was your bike?
It's nice.
Was nice. Hot day, it would have been too far to walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Go check it out. So here we are at the top of the hill. There's a barn called the Tasting Room and Shop. There's another barn called the Restaurant. With some outdoor seating. And there are vineyards. And in the background is Lake Ontario. Tasting room, yummy.
Okay.
They're 1 ounce pours and just $2 to try all 4.
Okay, we'll do that.
You want to share or do your own?
Yeah.
We'll do our own.
Yeah.
So we're doing the 4.
We're doing the 4.
Four tastings. Tortured Path. Huh?
Tortured Path. That's the one we're going to start with. Going dry to sweet. That's just the way our palates
Oh, we're going
like
from
to
dry
work.
to sweet? Okay.
Yep, that's the way our palates like to work. And we're not going to tick them off because they do a lot for us. Oh, thank you very much. We were the first cider company, not only out of Prince Edward County, but out of Ontario as well.
Okay.
We grow all of our own apples here on the premises. Some of the names you'll recognize, Honeycrisp, Ida Red, Empire, those were all culinary and cooking apples. The ones that you maybe don't recognize so much, your Brown Snout, Benet Rouge, Bulmers Norman, and my absolute favorite, the Yarlington Mill. Those are cider apples. Cider apples either bittersweet or bitter sharp. You can't cook out the bitterness, you can't sugar out the bitterness. The only thing they're good for is blending down with the culinary apples and making it into cider. So all of our ciders are a blend of those 16. Most similar to what you find in a Somerset UK style. So she's not very carbonated. You've got a very earthy aroma, a little bit of ginger in there, a complex finish, and some barnyard funk. When I say barnyard funk, I mean the smells of clean hay and straw only. I promise you that one.
Never heard it.
All of our
Barnyard
cider-
Funk.
Yeah. All of our ciders are 6.5%. So when you find the one you like,
All right, so what do you think of that one?
The three of us wanted to taste it.
So it's the driest. You're not usually a
It's not
dry.
my favorite.
You're not usually a dry drinker.
It tastes like beer a little bit.
Okay.
As far as bitterly.
Yeah.
I like
It's- Okay, me on the other hand, this one's good. That's the driest, so I'm sure I'll like the next one and the next one and the next one even better because they're sweeter.
here.
So the next one is?
County Apple. This is our first cider we started with over 20 years ago. So that baby all grown up.
Oh,
So
good.
this one you get more of an appley taste from it, not half as complex as a tortured path. It's got not so much of an aftertaste either, but it's got a tart finish. So this is one I find pairs nicely with a sailboat. Not that I've ever been on a sailboat.
That's where we came from. That's where we came from.
I have a really deep bathtub and a big fan. So
Oh, there you
it's
go.
about the same. Yeah.
Cheers.
I like it better than the other one,
More people doing tastings.
but I'm looking forward to the peach one.
You are you? That was the County.
That was the County. So the next one on our dry to sweet list is the Waupoos Premium. That's your medium dry, medium sweet. That's the one that's found on 120 taps all across Ontario.
Okay.
It's got more of a green apple taste to it. And
Okay.
just like when you bite into a green apple, you get like a little bit of astringency in your cheeks. It's got that finish to it. With the pear, blood orange, peach, and feral, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, we don't grow our own blood oranges here. It's
Okay.
a little bit impossible with our climate, right?
Right.
So what we do is make a base feed of the County Apple, the Waupoos Premium, and then we add the essence. And essence is just a fruit after it's been distilled down.
Okay.
So by using a distillate, you save the full bodiness of the fruit. So the pear, you've got a soft, supple pear taste, followed by hints of vanilla, and your apple finish, because it was the Waupoos Premium.
Okay.
Blood orange came from County, and now my absolute favorite, the breakfast cider, peach.
Okay, that's
So this is full body peach. You're
peach
gonna
is
taste
this
peach.
one down
You're
here,
gonna smell peach. Nothing but the peach, so help me God. Put a little orange juice in here if you want to make a morning mimosa.
I like mimosa.
If you need
That's
something,
good.
if you need something stronger in the morning, throw a little gin in there. Have a morning martini.
there we go. Cheers. No, that's good. That's really
Very
good.
good.
Yeah.
Smells good too. I love the smell of peach.
Oh, it does. So far, that's the winner by both of us, peach. So 6.5% alcohol. Yummy, yummy.
That would make a good mimosa.
It's like a strong beer. Mimosa, yeah. So the last one is going to be
Feral.
Feral,
It's
which is this red one.
got wild berries, cranberries, and golden raspberries.
Yeah, I'm guessing the peach and the Feral will be your favorite.
It will, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we are. We made it into the restaurant portion over here. Lots of people out here.
Beautiful.
Lots and lots of people.
We're at the top of a hill, and we have a view of the
Yeah, let's sit out there.
water.
Lake Ontario. I'll go take a walk over there after we're done eating. But we're ordering pizza.
Yeah.
We're getting a Crossroads pizza. So we'll see how it is. Kids playing in the orchards. There's Janice at our table. Okay, since we didn't get the pear in the taster, we ordered a pint of the pear cider. So we'll let you know how we think it is. I think pear's good.
Yeah, I like.
Might not beat peach, but it's gonna beat some of the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, first taste. I like.
Does it smell good like the peach one?
Well, pear doesn't have much of a smell, right?
No, it doesn't.
It's good. You'll probably still like the peach better.
Okay.
But it definitely tastes like pear.
It's very good.
It tastes
My
like
second choice.
Yeah.
Peach is still my favorite.
definitely tastes like pear, but pear doesn't have as much of a fragrance as the peach does.
No, the peach like smelled peachy.
Yeah. So
This doesn't smell like anything.
we're gonna buy 4 peach then.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 10-inch Crossroads pizza. I guess that's what I'd expect. I forgot 10 inches, not a very, very big pizza, but looks yummy. So we'll see. I'll tell you how it tastes. Well, we finished it, and I just have to say that was a very, very tasty pizza. Would you agree? Yes.
Yes, but it wasn't very much pizza.
No, they only had 10-inch options, so not a huge pizza, but very tasty. We just realized that the pizza oven is actually outdoors. So I've never seen an outdoor pizza oven before.
We are walking through the vineyard.
Yeah. I don't know, you can't quite see our boat because the trees are in the way, but this is Lake Ontario out there. Well, somewhere out there is Duck Island, which is what we want to head to next.
We want to recon that because we want to spend a
We're
weekend
over
there.
here in this bay here by Waupoos, and we biked to this Country Cider Company.
Look at the itty bitty teeny weeny baby grapes that will be wine someday.
Oh yeah,
So tiny.
Let me just say, at this point, we were having a great day. Beautiful weather, decided to get the drone up, look at the cider house from the air, as well as the beauty of Lake Ontario. What we didn't know is at this point our boat is probably dragging. The winds had picked up a lot, and our boat that was anchored over here was now dragging to somewhere over here. I should have known something was up when I turned the Mavic and tried to go into the wind, and it just refused to go forward. Right after this drone flight, a lady from the Marina came down in her truck to find us to say our boat was dragging, and her husband and friends were out trying to retrieve it. But at this point, we're still blissfully ignorant, so let's have fun with the Mavic. Just after this landing, a woman came over and told us our boat was dragging, and we raced back to the harbor. Very scary moment. We were at the cider house, and some people who knew we were biking there came down and got us and said our boat was dragging. We'd been on our boat for a couple hours in fairly high winds, and it didn't drag. That's it right there. They're motoring it back. It was way, way, way out there. Would have kept going into the Lake Ontario had they not seen it. They said it was acting weird, and they went out in a dinghy and got on board and got it. Thank God. Such nice people in the sailing and boating community. That is scary. We've had the boat 7 years and we've never dragged, but you can see the white caps out there. It's very windy and there's a big current. So it was blowing and dragging way out there into what would have ended up being the opening to Lake Ontario. Spooky. Look at the wind. Look at the waves. That's my boat. They're just docking to the... Holy! Thanks a lot, guys. Holy crap!
You get a picture of that? No, don't thank me. Thank these. I was having a beer watching
goodness. Thank you very much,
guys.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Your sensors were off, right?
What's that?
They didn't get ripped off by
No,
you.
no. That's we're getting service done on it.
Yeah, okay. You met these guys last night. Yeah.
Holy crap! They said your boat's dragging, so we got a drive back, and I thought it was gonna be like 50 yards further.
No, it was almost at Waupoos Winery. We were watching. I said, "Oh fuck it, he'll be back."
Yeah. And I just gonna say we've never dragged ever, and we were there for a couple of hours, but the wind wasn't quite this strong.
There's only if. There's never.
Well, I know. But we were watching to see if we were holding for a couple hours before we finally...
Welcome. This is what blood. That's from shoes.
Okay.
So if you see the cockpit...
I don't think he's worried about that.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just glad our boat isn't gone.
That's the least of it.
It's all the fingers that are lying on the...
Am I okay to stay here? Huh? Am I okay to stay on this dock? Now I don't feel like anchoring and it's way too windy.
It's pretty heavy, the wind.
Okay, after going around thanking everybody over and over again, and then we went and the owner of the marina found out we were here last night and he charged us $68 because we were here last night. The guy said, this looks like blood, but it's actually not. It's just somebody's muddy shoes or something. But we're just glad the boat came back in one piece. I mean, if you look out there, past that far tree line there, way out there, it was out past that. It just dragged and took off. Once it got once the anchor got covered in weeds, it might as well just be a round ball on the end of a chain. It's not stopping your boat at all. And look at this, like, I don't know if you can even hear me over the wind, but it's gusting now at times. It feels like 35 knots. And as we've seen when we pull the anchor around here, it's all weeds. So if your anchor breaks loose, you're in trouble because it's not going to recatch again. It's not something we're used to. On the Ottawa River, it was all mud and clay, and once it dug in, it was in for good, and I guess even if it did break loose, it would catch back into the next set of mud. So that's that. Little traumatizing, isn't it? Rick said, don't just leave the dinghy there in this wind. Don't even try and dinghy it over. Well, now you can really hear it. Holy crap! So my dinghy is over on the docks over on the far side of the marina, but trying to fight a 35 knot wind in a dinghy with a little electric trolling motor is probably a losing battle. So I'm not gonna even bother. I'm just gonna leave it over there until the wind dies. It's gotta die at some point. So, all right, that's it for now. Hello, welcome to the end of a very eventful day.
Yeah, we did a lot today. so did our boat, had an adventure.
Had a trip all on its own.
Yeah.
So I figured we should explain what happened because it probably all seemed disjointed. We were having a nice little bike ride through wine country.
Yeah.
And having a good time. We were at the County Cider House?
Yeah.
Or County Cider Company.
Cider.
Having a great time. And two ladies we met at the pub the night before were waving at us, and we thought they were just being friendly.
They're like, oh, we've been looking for you. Your boat is dragging. I'm like, what? Oh.
So she goes, jump in my truck. Well, we had our bikes, so we had to throw, luckily she had a pickup truck. We threw our bikes in the back of her truck, and she raced us back to the marina. We were anchored just outside the marina, just to the left. So I got on the dock thinking I'd see my boat, you know, because she said some people in a dinghy went and got it to stop it from dragging further. So I thought it would be 50 yards, maybe 100 yards away from where we anchored. And no.
It was like almost to the opening to Lake Ontario.
Yeah, it was almost out of sight. There was a tiny boat on the horizon, and I said, where'd our boat go? And she's like, it's out there. And I'm like, I don't see our boat. And then she points, the boat out there. And I'm like, you mean the one that's almost out of sight? She goes, yeah, that's your boat. I'm like, there's no way it dragged that far. But what we didn't realize, okay, so we anchor really well. We've never dragged in our entire life.
We've had the boat 7 years and that's never happened.
And our plow anchor's been awesome. On the Ottawa River, we never dragged. Here, it is literally non-stop weeds everywhere. So I guess our anchor isn't doing a great job in weeds. I don't know if any anchor does. Long and short, it was a pretty windy day, and we anchored, and we sat on our boat. We backed down on it. We sat on our boat for 2 hours at least, and we didn't move. So we felt we were safe to get on shore and do that bike ride we talked about. But I guess while we left, so we're biking down the roads where there's trees around us, so we couldn't really tell that the wind had really picked up. But I guess when I got my drone out at the cider company and I got it above the trees, the drone was acting weird. Like, it wouldn't fly into the wind. It would just lean and it wouldn't go anywhere. And I thought, I've never had that happen before. So that should have been our first hint that the wind had really picked up and we weren't aware of it. So I guess once our anchor broke loose in the high winds, I guess it was, they were saying it's like 35, maybe up to 40 knots of wind. It was just a freak windstorm that lasted for what, an hour or two? A couple hours at least. Yeah. Anyways, once our anchor broke loose, it was so clogged with weeds, the boat just kept going and it couldn't recatch because the plow had just clogged with weeds. So it was almost like it was just dragging a ball instead of an anchor. And it went. People said because of the high winds, the boat just started going sideways down through, you know, and as it started spinning, they said, they were saying that maybe it was hitting the ground because it started hitting shallow area, and the keel would hit the ground and it would sort of spin to get rid of being on the mud, and it would spin and then get loose and go again. And they realized something was not right and that was getting further away. So luckily, some good Samaritans got in power dinghies and chased after it. So, and
we had the keys in the ignition. So.
Yes, just dumb luck we had, because our cabin was locked, but we left the keys in the ignition, so they were able to start the motor and motor back to the marina where we picked up our boat. And then after that, we anchored here in Smith Bay, which is a really protected bay away from everything. So that's where we are now. And another thing we learned here, I'll show you our dinghy. Our dinghy has an electric trolling motor, which was fine on the Ottawa River because we were never very far from shore. You know, maybe 50 yards at most from shore, and so an electric dinghy was fine. But out on this big expanse of the Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence, there's a lot of distance between where you anchor and sometimes where you want to be. So we really think we need to get a gas motor.
Yeah, great.
Because had we even been on shore and seen our boat just dragging away from us, this electric trolling motor would have never caught up to it.
It would have died and
the battery would die, and we would have gotten halfway there and then had no motor at all. So we kind of decided we're going to look on Kijiji for a used motor now. We talked about it earlier, but we were trying to figure out if there was better things we should spend our money on.
Well, yeah, we had talked about it before the season began, and then we had our ferry incident, and I was like, okay, well, that's expensive already, so
yeah, it's been a bad
postpone
season.
The dinghy motor, the new motor.
Any of you that follow on Facebook, you know what we've been doing all the way along. We've been updating like live pretty much what we're up to, and also all these things have happened. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're only hearing about this probably a couple weeks afterwards. But on Facebook I said I think we're jinxed because this season has been crazy bad luck. But on the other hand, you flip it and go, maybe we're blessed because some things have happened that you go, wow, we could have totally, like the ferry thing could have been a catastrophic collision.
It could have been a sinking boat.
Yeah, instead we grazed it and it caught our lifelines,
it could have been way worse.
Yeah,
and nobody got hurt, which is actually incredible.
The boat's still perfectly fine to sail. It just doesn't have lifelines on one side, so that's lucky. Then this one, where if these people hadn't noticed,
there was like 6 kind boat neighbors. How many people jumped into action?
It was like 5 guys.
Well,
on my
like
boat.
2 people, two ladies that we had happened to mention last night. We were going to the cider house today. Yeah. And these 2 ladies that we don't even know came there looking
thinking
for us.
that we might be there.
So how sweet of them.
And just dumb luck.
Their husbands and a couple other guys jumped in their dinghies and went to rescue our boat. Well, the ladies went hunting for us at the cider house. It was amazing how...
And we had already eaten, so we had gone out into a field to drone, and they went to the restaurant and didn't see us, and they were thinking, oh, well, I guess we don't know where they are. And just dumb luck, we started biking by, and she ran out, waved at us. Your boat is dragging. We're like, what? We're like, I thought she must have mistaken us for someone else, because I'm like, no, our boat was there when we left, and it was there for like at least 2 hours in pretty stiff wind. Like we're talking 20 plus knots of wind, and it hadn't moved. So usually if you can get 20 plus knots and not move, you're not going anywhere. But obviously I guess it went up to 35 and plus, and so that was enough to break it loose, and that was it. It was gone.
So as we were pulling away from the dock, Rick says, "You've been Waupoosed," and that's for sure. Like, like I loved it here, and I want to come back, but we'll have to. We didn't anchor in the normal anchorage because it was too far for our dinghy.
But I don't think it mattered. We anchored on this side because the wind was coming from this side. Now somebody said most people anchor on the other side of the bay, but the point is the wind was coming from the north. If we anchored on the opposite side, we would have had a lee shore behind us. We anchored on the north side because we wanted the north wind. Didn't want a lee shore behind us. So we anchored in the right spot. Unfortunately, when it broke loose, it just took off towards Lake Ontario and was going. I mean, it could have been worse. If we had a lee shore, we could have just dragged right onto a shore. And who knows, maybe it's rock, who knows. We could have, again, so many really bad things could have happened. So, learning lessons. There's a lot of weeds here, so we're not confident anymore in our
now we're thinking the anchor's not the right anchor for this.
I'm not sure.
Of holding.
In clay and...
do some anchor shots.
In clay and mud, like Ottawa River had, the plow anchor was awesome. It would dig in, it wouldn't come out. But I'm thinking with thick weeds, there might be a different anchor that's better. So, anyways, we'll have to look into it.
Like a spike, a long spike. Like...
Or maybe the Danforth, the ones with the folding flukes or whatever. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Like I say, this is not rehearsed at any time, so you can tell with all these mishaps we're having. These are not, we don't plan this stuff.
We don't stage them just for interest's sake.
No, so... Hopefully you liked the episode and you got to see the cider house and a bunch of other good things before our boat went rogue on us and took off. It was a
beautiful day up until the dragging incident.
So now we're just chilling. I'm going to go to bed early. I think
back and had a couple of booze, like a
couple of drinks.
Had a double rum and coke and then some cider that we bought at Cider.
Yeah, the cider house cider is awesome.
It's very good.
So that's it. I guess that's it for tonight.
It's for today.
I don't think we're going to film anything else.
No.
We're tired. It drained us. Anyways, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That's it till next time. So next episode we're planning to go to Maine Duck Island.
Yes.
And it should be called Snake Island. According to everybody, it is just filled with snakes.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna do some recon because that's where I want to bring my son and my dad and maybe my
her son is a big fan of snakes.
Loves snakes.
He likes playing with them.
To catch them and.
He had no interest in coming on the sailboat until we told him there was an island completely filled with snakes, and then he was like, "Can I go? Can I go?" So we are taking him there.
He and my dad want to camp in a tent on the snake.
Yeah.
This here's a little corn snake. They call them corn snakes because they got that old, I guess, Indian corn pattern on their bellies. And these are the kind of snakes you can get at a pet store because they're really calm and they're not venomous and they're really...
So this is our first time we're going to go there. We're going to recon it.
I want to see if there's like a good camping area and a fire pit because I want a fire.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for today. See you on the next one.
If you made it to the end of the episode, I'm assuming you liked it. If so, smash that like button. We've already done so much sailing this summer, then we're just ready to bring it to you in the upcoming episodes. Next episode, we do a little recon of Duck Island and confirm it really is Snake Island. After that, we go to Sackett's Harbor, then we go to Oswego, before we finally return to Duck Island with Jake, where we explore some abandoned lighthouses and take on all those snakes. So stay tuned, and until next episode, safe cruising.